checking out another tutorial brought to you from Backfist Customs Glitter. I'm Nicole, and today I'm going to be showing you a really cool technique that everybody always asks about, commonly known as the Petri dish technique, or dropped inks. I know it as the Petri dish technique. For this tutorial, you're going to need a deep mold. I'm using the Trinket box, which has a pretty deep part that comes up. I'm going to be using 2-part epoxy resin, and for this tutorial I'm using the Jacquard Penta inks. You can pretty much use any brand of alcohol inks that you want for the tutorial. If you don't have Jacquard, that's okay in the colors. The only ink that you have to have for this tutorial is the Jacquard Penta Blanca ink. It is the magic of this tutorial. So let's get to it, guys. Okay, y'all. So I've got my 2-part epoxy resin mixed over here in this large silicone cup. I have mixed 100 milliliters of resin. I don't believe the Trinket box is going to take that much, but I always mix more than I need just in case I spill any or any number of reasons. Anything can go wrong. So in this tutorial, you're going to need your alcohol ink, and my little tip when you're working with alcohol ink is if you're doing a certain pattern or a certain technique, set your colors up in the order that you want to go. I'm doing a rainbow, so I have my colors in the rainbow order that I want, and I have the caps behind them because it's a nightmare trying to put the caps back on the correct thing. So on the Trinket box, I can see it has a recess. So this is technically the bottom of the Trinket box right here. So when you demold it, your stuff goes right here, like this geometric heart. And this geometric heart is actually the technique that we are doing. This is just done with 2 colors. But I showed you this to show you right here is where the alcohol ink is going to gel up, so to speak. So you need to leave room for that in this mold. And you're going to focus your dropped inks on the edges right here. You're only going to put 1 layer of inks on the bottom of the mold right here. And you're only going to put 1 layer of inks in the lid. And on the lid, make sure you're using the shiny side, not the matte side. The shiny side is going to give you a lip, so it will actually sit on the box and not fall off. So shiny side on the lid, and you're going to focus most of your dropped inks on the edges. Because if you put too much ink on the bottom, it's not going to cure correctly because you have too much additive in with your resin. So my resin has been sitting for a second. Let's see if I can pick it up and show you. So right there, that big spot, that's the air bubbles that rose. So pop your bubbles now. Once you pop your bubbles, completely remove your lighter from your workspace. Alcohol inks are very flammable and you will set your project on fire. Especially if you're used to popping your bubbles when you work with molds. So you're going to pour your resin in. And you're going to make sure that's filled up and it's got all these corners, that there's actually resin in those. And then you're going to fill your Trinket box. Pour kind of slow, because you want to leave room for the gel. But make sure, that you cover the bottom. So you're going to come up to that first little edge. And if you pour too much, you can pour some out just to make sure that you have room for the inks. And I kind of tap the sides. So I'm going to do one layer of colors, and then I'm going to drop the white in. Remember, focus your drops mainly on those edges. Green, pink, 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 pink. One layer of pink in the middle, and purple is going to be on this layer right there. Then you're going to take your white ink, and you're just going to go directly back over that with the white ink. I suggest doing the edges like this, because you don't want to put too much alcohol ink in the middle right here. I know on camera that looks black, but it's really not. So I'm going to go through, and I'm not putting a drop on every single part right there. Then you're going to go back with your colors once again, only on the edges. There's my red, my orange, yellow. Green can kind of take over, so make sure you use green sparingly. Blue. Nope, I'm at pink. Pink right here, pink right here, and then purple on this edge. Then you're going to take your white ink again, and you're going to do the edges. And this is going to migrate toward the middle. You do not have to put more alcohol ink toward the middle. And this one right here, red, orange, yellow. Green is very strong, so be careful with it. So is blue. Nope. Pink and purple. So I did my colors. Now I'm going to go back and do my layer of white, and I just go back and forth. And see, as you can tell, the colors have migrated toward the middle. So when you go back with your white again, the white is going to push the colors that are on the surface down. This is what drops the ink down. So I focus my white on the edges where the inks are going to drop down. Alright, the most important part about this technique is you cannot, I stress, you cannot peak and you cannot demold these early. Because of the gel that the alcohol ink makes on the back, it's not going to get fully hard till about 24 hours. When that is fully hard, that's when you can demold it. Because if you demold it too early, the alcohol ink is basically going to rip on the back and it's going to run your entire piece. Hey y'all, so it has been over 24 hours since we have poured the Trinket dish and the lid. And as you can see, get a little sneak peek underneath. So when you go to demold these, I told you earlier in the tutorial about the gel on the back when you use alcohol inks and with this technique. So you're going to want to make sure it separates just like that before you go to demold it. Because if you don't, the gel is going to rip and it's going to be wet and it's just going to get all over your piece. So you're going to go very slowly and you're just going to work on this edge where the alcohol ink is. And for these deeper molds, it does take a little bit longer for it to get completely cured. So if they're a little soft and flexible when you first pull them out, that's okay. Because you're going to need to sit them on a level surface and let them fully cure for about 72 hours. The more resin and the thicker and deeper it is, the longer it takes. So once you get it all the way off, I just start peeling it back. Once you get a hold of it, you just go with it. So I peel it just like this. Aren't those colors awesome? So then I'm going to take it like this, and I'm going to squeeze the inside. And I'm going to squeeze all the sides. You don't want to go hulking it out. You're going to want to pinch it, and it comes out just like that. And just flip your mold back inside out. There will be some stains on your mold. And if you have any residual stains down here, like this stuff up here, if you have it in this, just wipe it off with alcohol. It will stain, but the stains are not going to transfer to your next project. Okay, so the same thing on the lid. You just want to make sure that you got all the pieces. Do all the pieces. That looks so cool. And then your completed Trinket box. And it has a lip, so it doesn't come off. So don't leave it like this to cure though. To cure, you're going to want to set them both flat, level surface for at least 72 hours. Alright you guys, thank you so much for checking out this tutorial brought to you from Backfist Customs. This is the Petri dish technique or dropped inks. Whatever you want to say, it doesn't matter. Some people call it one, both. So, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do that so that way you see when we post new stuff. Hit the bell if you want to be notified on the front of your screen, and that way you never miss anything new. Who knows? Backfist Custom does a lot of games, so who knows what kind of games are going to come from this channel. And if you haven't already been checking out our Facebook group, it's Backfist Customs Glitter Creations. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Make sure to go check out that Facebook page, and you can see all kinds of cool stuff that people make. So many amazing artists in that group. So thank you guys. I truly hope that you understand this process. And if you don't, please, please, please leave me a comment down below. Ask away. And I will reach back out to y'all and answer your questions. And if you have a specific thing you want to see done with this technique, leave it down below and we'll see what we can do. Thanks, you guys. Y'all have a great night.